So I am currently joined by Harrison Swann from Talk Show, one of our Prospect Music Award 2022 nominees. Hi, Harrison. How are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. Yeah.
Really glad to hear it. So thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations on being nominated for the Prospect Music Awards. So how does it feel to have this level of recognition after only being a band for 3 years?
Yeah, I mean it's an honor. Yeah, it's great. Like, thank you. It's cool that people are recognizing what we're doing. Um, yeah, yeah.
No, that's really great. So, Prospect's whole selling point is focusing on up and coming artists that are doing something quite special at the moment. What do you think it is about you guys and Talk Show that makes you stand out from other bands, not just in your genre, but within the Prospect nominees that we've got this year?
Oh, wow. Oh God. It's hard not to say something without sounding big-headed. No, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just oh God, yeah, I literally don't even know where to start with that. Maybe it's because like what we do is very honest. We try and be really open about it. We try and make like we're not trying to be like the coolest band on the planet. We're just trying to make good music that people enjoy and that people want to be a part of. I'd like to think that those would be the reasons that people like us or taking note of us and taking interest in why we've been nominated for this. Um, yeah, like hopefully they see that we've got a more human side to us than my perception is of other artists. Do you know what I mean? I would like to think that people see that. Um, yeah, yeah, maybe yeah. That's literally what I have to say now. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good, and you've like you've definitely you've definitely got our attention from it, which is fantastic. So but how did you guys come together?
So we all met at uni, that like classic story essentially. Like I I bumped into George at a house party. We talked about wanting to start a band, being classically cynical about music that was playing, and then we were like at the party, and then we were like, right, let's just start a band. And then Tom joined, Chloe joined, and we've been going since then, really. Like, um, yeah, and it's been a while, but like it's still fun, it's still great, it's tough, don't get me wrong, like, but it's yeah, it's nice that it's been the four of us from the start. And yeah, it was that just that classic story of like meeting each other in house parties and at uni and just feeling frustrated and wanting to just make music, and that we at the time didn't see a lot of about. um because yeah, I think at the time when we were starting that band, there wasn't that much music out there that we were looking at going, oh, this is inspiring, I want to be a part of that. So hence why we started the band essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. But so you're called Talk Show. It's a great name. I love it. But how did you come up with that name?
um we spent ages thinking of a band name, like ages. It was stupid the amount of time that we spent thinking about band names and just going, what about this? No. What about this? No. What about this? No. Like going round and round in circles and stuff. um And then what helped is we started to veto stuff. So we were like, right, well, we don't want a color and we don't want like certain words. So I didn't want honey and I didn't want stripes and I didn't want an animal and I didn't want, do you know what I mean? So I didn't want to be called like the white zebras or something stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like it just felt like so many bands had names like that, that it's either a color and an animal or whatever. So we were like, right, we're going to veto those. So then that started to help. And then I wish talk show had the meaning. I wish it did, but it didn't. It doesn't. I think it was probably something boring. Like I was watching the telly and I was like, oh, that's a good name for a band. And we just went with that, and we're like, right, it sounds good. Yeah, and that was pretty much it. It was funny because for about a month, Chloe thought we would called something completely different, because initially we were called The Talk Show for a bit, and I remember like after a month we went back into the rehearsal room and I was like, oh, we should be called The Talk Show, and Chloe was like, what? I'm like, The Talk Show. She's like, that's completely different. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, no, we're only going to add the to it. Like, that's it. And she's like, oh. I was like, what? And she'd been telling everyone that we were called Torture because she couldn't understand what I was saying. Yeah, so she'd gone around and told like loads of mates, loads of family that she'd joined this new band at uni and they were called Torture. And I just, yeah, hilarious, dreadful. So luckily, Torture didn't last, and neither did the talk show either. So we just, yeah, it doesn't mean anything essentially.
Yeah, and here you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And what a year you've had. So you've collaborated with Eli Brown, one of the big new names in electronic music, and with a great song called Trouble. But how did that collaboration come about? What was it like to work together? How did you come up with that song?
I think I got approached by either his management or label saying that Eli wanted to reach out, and they were looking for people. He was looking for people to write with, and I said, yeah. I was like, might as well. Well, initially I was more hesitant because I was like, I don't know how this is going to work, and I was like, you know what? Like, let's just go for it. Like, fuck it. Let's just see what we can get out of it. Do you know what I mean? And I'd obviously heard of Eli's name before, and so I was just like, right, well, let's try it, and like, there's nothing to lose from it. And it just seemed to click when we were in that first session, in the studio session. Because I think neither of us were trying to write something. We were just like, let's just run with anything. And I think in hindsight, I think it works because we are coming from like sonically we're coming from a similar atmosphere, if that makes sense. Like, yes, what we do is like post-punk and like punk and alternative guitar music, and Eli's coming from a dance perspective, but sonically we're still going and trying to aim for the same thing, and I think that's why it worked. And it was fun. It was just fun to just not care, and just write and not look backwards about it, and just be like, cool, that works, let's move forward. Cool, that works, let's move forward. And also he's just sound. So it just helps that we just got on because he's just sound. So yeah, it was great, and it was an honor to work with him as well. Like, he's fucking talented, and like, it was cool to be in a studio with someone like that that's also looking at me going, I really like what you're doing. It's like, sick, like, that's wicked. So yeah,
That's brilliant. And yeah, the song is absolutely fantastic as well, and so is your own version of the song as well. So really versatile song, but it works in so many different ways. So now you've collaborated with Eli Brown. Who would be your dream collaboration?
ooh, do you know what? Probably someone like Tricky, or someone wild like Massive Attack or Chemical Brothers, like something from that like 90s electronica world. Underworld would be amazing to work with them, because I think it would make us and myself push ourselves, because I could sit here and be like, oh, X guitarist from X alternative guitar band, but I don't think I'd end up pushing myself in the same way. So yeah, probably someone from that like 90s electronica dance trip hop world. Like I said, like Tricky, Chemical Brothers, Underworld. Yeah, because I think what we'd come out with would be pretty damn interesting. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And since you mentioned Underworld, that's actually the name of your current single, which I love. I think it's fantastic. But how did that song come about?
So it was pretty much like a few months after the Eli Brown sessions that we did with Joe and Al, recording Trouble. And we were writing new material, and I remember leaving the studio and just being like, right, we're scrapping everything that we've been working on, and we're starting fresh. We're going to start something new, because that's what I want to do. That this is the standard that I want to work at now, and this is what I want to aim for. And um and yeah, we just kind of were just. I also wasn't listening to the same music anymore. So, like I said, I've been listening to loads of like 90s stuff, loads of electronica, loads of dance, loads of techno, to mix it up, because I was feeling a bit uninspired up until that point. And I remember being sat in a rehearsal room with the four of us and being like, right, let's just go and listen to Chemical Brothers or Underworld and try and learn it. And then essentially that's where Underworld, our song, comes from, because we were like, right, let's just go and learn Born Slippy to as far as we can on as a guitar band, and go from there, essentially. And like it was it just fell into place, and it felt really easy, and it felt really inspiring again, which I think at the time hadn't been feeling that, and hadn't felt that when we've been writing. So it was just felt really quick and natural. And I think as a writer, for any writer, like, you've got to run with those moments. You've just got to run with when it's easy, not look back, and just move forward with stuff. Um, Rather than second guessing stuff, rather than going, is this working? Is it not? Are people going to like this? We were just like, we believe in it enough. We believe it's just head and shoulders above everything else that we've written. So we're just going to run with it. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how we ended up with it and started it. And then all the other tracks after that kind of fell into place, and we're doing the same thing. So yeah.
It sounds fantastic. I was actually wondering like whether was actually inspired by Underworld. Now
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I've got my
Yeah, that's literally,
answer.
it's literally where we got the name from, because I was like, it also felt it fitted into the kind of sonics of lyrics that I was writing at the moment, and the headspace that I was in just felt like that was an actual title. And then, because obviously we'd used Born Slippy, I've been listening to a lot of that, and I was like, right, well, there we go then. That's where they like, this is this is an obvious title. And it's not a rip-off, it's a homage, shall we say. Maybe it is a rip-off, I don't know.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. So obviously we can't do this without talking about like the pandemic and lockdown and everything like that. How specifically did that affect you and the band, and did any positive opportunities, like being able to focus on writing, like did it give you any of those kind of opportunities or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, like every other band, it was a massive hit to us, because it was supposed to be our like breakout year, and it was supposed to be like the year that we went our first headline tour, and we had loads of festivals booked, and like X, Y, and Z, and we'd had loads of exciting plans in place, and we're going to new countries and all this kind of stuff. And then obviously it just gets pulled. Like, it really hit the campaign of that first EP really hard, because we released it the first week into lockdown, and it's hard to promote stuff from a bedroom behind a laptop. Like the entire campaign had to switch, but I didn't want to sit here and kind of start to feel sorry for myself. I just wanted to still be proactive about it and keep pushing it. And because we had no other option, I wasn't going to just like sit there and let it all fall apart. I was going to like still keep it going as best as I could, and that's what we all did. And so yeah, I mean, one of the big benefits was like I did a lot of writing, which was good. Um, but I think also like I said, I got to a point where I was feeling less inspired by stuff, because I felt like I was still writing stuff that was similar to stuff I was writing before lockdown, and it just didn't feel right anymore. It just didn't feel like it fit. It didn't feel like it was accurate of what I was wanting to do, or what I was listening to, or what my outlook even was on music at that point. So yeah, like I said, it got to a point where we'd had like, I'd pretty much written like an album and a half worth of material, and we recorded 4 or 5 tracks and we just scrapped it because we're just like, it's actually just not good enough. It's just not where we want to be at. Like the bar's not high enough. Hence why we just literally just threw everything away. But yeah, like I'm glad that we tried to make the most out of a bad situation. I think we didn't really have any other option. It was good. That was going to be the only way we were going to do it. So yeah, it was a wild, wild old time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so obviously, I would say that the world is opening up again. It's sort of closing down again as with like at the
Yeah.
time we were recording this. But so this question might be obsolete within a couple of days, but we're going to ask it anyway. Now that the world is opening up again,
Yeah. Yeah.
how does it feel to be playing live shows again, and obviously seeing that like seeing that work come and pay off, and you've got fans that are, you're physically seeing them and they're singing your songs, like how does all of that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite part about being a musician and being in a band. Like, I love it. Being able to stand in front of a crowd and they sing your words back to you that I've written, and like it's just, like it's incomparable. And so to be able to to do our debut tour that we did and like go and play new cities that we've just been to for the first time, it's always special because my thing is like I want to take. I'm not afraid of saying that I want to be as big as we could possibly be. I want to take this band as far as we can possibly take it. So to go to new cities like Amsterdam and Paris that we've just been to for the first time and play to packed out rooms and everyone's going mental from the first note that we hear is really special. And I really didn't want to take that for granted. And I never will. It's great. I love it. I love every second of it. Um, we've got some amazing things lined up for next year, which I can't wait. I can't believe it. If I was to tell like 14-year-old me, oh, by the way, like you'll have done a debut tour, you've played in Paris, Amsterdam, Hamburg, Berlin. Oh, and then next year, by the way, you're gonna go and a support tour and play Shepherd's Bush Empire and the Ritz in Manchester on your birthday and go to America. Like it's nuts. So I do try and remind myself of that at times of being like, yeah, it's it's going well and it's going all right. Like it's it's exciting and it's you doing some great things that you've always wanted to do and always dreamt about doing. So yeah, it's a real privilege. Like it really, really is. And I love every second of it.
Brilliant. I love that. So you do have a UK tour coming up early next year. I think part of it's your headline tour. Obviously, you said you're going on a support tour as well. I don't know if you've announced that yet or anything like that, but what can we expect from a talk show?
um, just something big and something exciting. Like I want people to be drawn into it. I want people to be paying attention to it. I want people to feel like they're part of it as well and they're involved in it. Um, I don't want it to just seem like a disconnect of just a band playing on stage, doing their thing, and they look they're cool and whatever, but you don't really feel that involved in it. Like whereas I want people to feel involved in it. I want people to feel like they know us and it's like physically you can touch it and it's achievable and it's attainable. Like that's what I want a talk show to feel like, and it to be yeah big and dangerous and exciting and all those kind of cliche phrases. Like I want that. I want I want crowds to walk away from that and just be like, that blew my head off. Because it's just fun. I don't know. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, can't wait to go to one of those shows. It's going to be great. But what else have you got lined up? So you said you have a support tour, but what other exciting projects have you got coming up within the next 12 months?
So in January, hopefully, COVID pending. We're going on support tour with Spectre, which we announced a few weeks ago, and that'll be amazing. I'm really, really excited for that to be, like I said, to play the Ritz on my birthday in Manchester, my hometown, is like, I can't believe it. That'll be really exciting. And then we're going to go play South by Southwest. So yeah, to go to America, to say we're going to America is really bizarre. God, what else are we doing? We've got some new material on the way that will be coming out soon, which is great. We have got more dates booked around Europe. Yeah, I think that's all I can say for the time being. Yeah. It's just the next step, which is exciting. And it feels like it's moving forward, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. So where can people check you out if they hear in Prospect and we're like, oh, these are great, which to be fair, everyone should, because you guys are awesome. Where can we check you out?
We are on all forms of social media. I've sold my soul to the social media mechanism machine. So we are on all forms of social media. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on blah 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 blah. Yeah, and we've got new material on the way. So yeah, stay tuned.
Fantastic. So I've got two more questions just to finish on. I ask these to anyone and everyone that I interview, and both are related to music and how incredible and how powerful it can be. Albums specifically can change lives. What was that album for you that changed your life, and how did it do it?
Ooh. Oh God. I have a few different like music memory moments that kind of changed my perception of stuff and be like, boom, like I need to do this. One was like I remember listening to the Smiths for the first time being 14, and it just blew me away. Like it, yeah, I remember, and I know exactly where I was and what song it was. It was Big Mouth Strikes Again, and I was in Sale, and I was like walking to do an interview at like 14 for a job interview or whatever. And I was just like, what is this gold mine that I've just found? That was when I was like, I have to do this. Like, I have to be a musician. And the second one was when I was in uni, because at the time I was like wanting to be a musician, wanting to be in a band, and I but didn't know quite what I wanted to make or the way that I wanted to go about making it. And I remember I was walking around Rough Trade East, and there was some music playing on the speakers, and I was like, "What is this? This is wicked." Asked the dude behind the counter, and it was a mixtape by Sacred Bones, and it was called "Killed by Death Rock Volume 1." And I'd just never heard anything like it. And it was like this amazing compilation of really weird punk, post-punk, like goth rock tunes. And that was the second light bulb moment of like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is the type of music that I want to make, essentially, or start with it being the foundation of. There's a track on there called "I Want to Be You" by Your Funeral, and it's just like sick. It's amazing. So yeah, those are the two moments. They're not technically albums, but it's a bit of a cheat. But yeah, those are my answers.
Yeah, they're good enough for me. And my final question, probably one of the most broadest questions I can ever ask. Harrison, what does music mean to you?
What does music mean to me? Oh, God, without being a cliche and being cheesy, it's literally just my entire life. Like, I don't want to do anything else other than like listen to music, play music, watch music, read about music, it's like it can make everything make sense all the time. It like, yeah, without sounding really wet and soppy, it's just like there's not really much better, is there? There's nothing really much better than music. So that was it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. But Harrison, thank you so much for talking to me. I'm going to wish you the very, very best of luck within the Prospect Music Awards. And yeah, and if you're watching and you want to vote for Talk Show, head over to the link in our description or our bio. We're everywhere, and ensure that you vote for Talk Show. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you